Hello, 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 everyone. What is going on? What's up? Welcome. And how are you guys today? It's Thursday. Thank God it's almost Friday. I hope you guys have been having a really good week. So, thank you, History Month series. Okay. Of course, if y'all are not new here, we have to do a little bit of housekeeping. So this is our discipline where we go through all the software engineering jobs that you can look into, and we break down the different types of roles and how you can get into the industry. So first and foremost, of course, just to greet myself, right? My name is Javon. I am the COO of Mentor Me Collective. By day, I'm a software engineer and a content creator. I create content on YouTube for women of color with non-traditional backgrounds who are looking to transition into tech. And this evening, I'll be your host for data engineering. Listen, I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited because I know once I was considering data engineering before I was considering software engineering. So this is going to be a very powerful episode. Let me know where you're from. I'm from NYC, so big up NYC all day. If you are from somewhere else, let us know. We have people all over. So let us know where you're from. Put your LinkedIn in the chat. Let's get started. Let's start networking with folk, okay? Of course, we're glad to see you. Please take a minute to share this and tag us on social media, all our platforms. You never know whose life this can change. If you know anyone that's looking to get into data engineering, you can send them the link now to watch us live, or you can send them the replay. The point is, just share it, okay? So again, we are celebrating Women's History Month with some of the greatest Black women in tech. So we just want to take a moment to shout them out and thank them for being a part of our community as mentors and coming in to educate us with their expertise. Okay. So let's do a quick vibe check. As always, where are you in your journey? Drop an emoji. Let us know. Are you in school? Are you in boot camp? Are you self-taught? Are you applying for your first role? Are you growing and glowing in the space? Let us know your journey so we can celebrate you, because we're all here to support each other. I also, while you do that, I want to run a couple events by you guys. So the first one we have coming up is called Combos in Color. It's a recruiting event. And it's featuring Adobe Design. And this is kind of like a fireside chat where we have a few recruiters and a few hiring managers that come in from Adobe, and they have candid conversations about diversity, culture, and inclusion specifically at Adobe. So they'll also have some positions available. So I suggest y'all come with y'all resume in hand and get ready to shoot your shot, apply, and ask these recruiting managers questions directly. So the next one we have is Girl Talk. Listen, Girl Talk will be happening March 28th, Monday. It's for women only. Sorry, fellas. Don't worry. We'll have other events, but this is for girls only. So we will be talking with Sisters in Sales. That is promising to be a really dope event to come and see a little bit about what they do, and just kind of like chill and get to know each other, right? And we also have a remote work week. I'm so excited for this. This one. This is the one. This is the one. Okay. So we have a remote work week coming up May 29th to June 4th in Orlando, Florida. So you know it's going to be absolute fire. Like, you want to be there. So if you are looking to attend, make sure you go to bit.ly /MMC travel to let us know that you'll be in attendance, and we will tell you the next steps from there. And lastly, Microsoft Atlanta is hiring, y'all. They are hiring. Please, if you want a referral, run on over to bit.ly /MMC Microsoft. Okay. And these are for both coding and non-coding jobs. So don't feel like you have to be, it's just for software engineers or people in the absolute technical space. It's not. It's also for people in non-coding jobs as well. And of course, before we jump in, we're going to talk a little bit about meeting the team, joining the team, our mentorship program, our text reminders, our Etsy shop, and of course, our infamous MMC giveaway. All right, y'all. So this is the team right here. Chanel P is the CEO. I have myself, Javon, the COO, and then of course we have Dominique, basically the jack of all trades, the gap filler. Like, he is just so awesome. He is our head of people ops. If you are looking to email us and you just want to chat, please feel free to just email us over here and then we'll get back to you accordingly, okay? If you want to join the team, listen, we are looking for people specifically in the space of video editing, email support, social media. So if you have any of those gifts, we really would love for you to be on our team. Please go to our website and make an appointment with myself, and then we will follow up with the next steps as well, okay? And of course, we have our career coaching, our mentorship program. So we have a mentorship program that we launched that is absolutely free. I said it. Yes, I didn't make a mistake. It is free. It's free 99. We want to be able to serve the community by supporting you guys with building technical skills and helping you with your job seeking. So if you're interested in design, engineering, data science, PMs, I really encourage you to apply. And we're taking about, like I said, only 30 to 40 people. So when you get to the website, what I want you to do is go on over to mentorship, click that button right there, and then it will ask you if you want to apply as a mentee or a mentor. So once you go there, just sign up there. And again, we will follow up with the next steps. But I'm telling you, you really want to be part of this program. Just to give a little humble brag, we pride ourselves on landing people six-figure roles in tech. We have done so. We have the receipts to back it up, absolutely, and we will continue to do so. And now that's why you want to be part of this free mentorship program, okay? All right, so we also have MMC text reminders. So text MMC to 866-901-1914. And this will remind you about all the different events that we have and the giveaways that we're doing. So you want to be part of that. Absolutely. We get messages all the time like, oh my God, I missed it. Or did you guys record it? Listen, sign up for the text messages and I promise you'll never miss an event. Okay. And of course we have our Etsy shop. Our Etsy shop is, we have some exclusive, sorry about that, y'all. So we have some exclusive things for Women's History Month. Super dope designs. It is fire. So please go and visit our Etsy shop as well. And of course, what is an MMC event without an MMC giveaway? Like, we pride ourselves on our giveaways as well. So right now, in order to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is attend all the sessions and bring a friend. Then you're going to grab a pen and paper and take really, really, really good notes. And then you're also going to connect with us on social media platforms. And then you're going to complete the quiz. Now the quiz is sent out with the MMC text reminders. So like I said, you want to make sure to sign up for those. Oh, Phoenix asks, what's the number? We'll put the number in the chat again for texting MMC. I'll put the number in the chat really soon. Just give me a quick second, Phoenix. Thank you. And of course, here's how we do it. We want you guys to go to our photo booth. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your phone and then you're going to scan the QR code. Once you scan the QR code, you click it. It'll open up our photo booth for you. And then we'll take a picture. Or you can add a bomb selfie. That's usually what I do. I don't always be camera ready. So you just put in a selfie that you really like and just put that on there and share it. And then, like we said, take really good notes so you'll be ready for the quiz. And then after that, follow us on all social media, of course, and text MMC to that number that we will drop, 866-901-1914. Okay? So the giveaway prizes are Apple AirTags, a HomePod Mini, a Hydrate water bottle, and also Home Leaf smart light bulbs. These are all really good giveaways. So we do want you guys to participate, and um, they're gonna get even better. Okay, so listen, y'all want to stay strapped and stay ready. Okay. All right, but now for the absolute main event, y'all did not come to hear me speak the whole time. So I really want to introduce the duo that we have today. This is our first duo that we have for the week-long series. This is Kelly and Sia, who will be teaching us about data engineering. I'm so hyped to have them. I'm going to put them up on the stage now.
Hey, what's up? Thank you, Javon. What's up, Mentor Me Collective? How's everyone doing tonight?
Doing well. Oh my gosh, thank you for joining us. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having us. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Really? I
Yeah,
love to hear
all
that.
week.
I love to hear
Absolutely.
that.
Happy Women's History Month. Shout out to everyone in Jersey. That's where I'm coming to you from. So
Come on,
in
Jersey.
Jersey people in the house.
Listen, I'm so
South
hyped
Jersey
to hear
specifically. Extra shout out.
Thank you, ladies. Could you just tell us a little bit, each of you, could you just tell us a little bit about what got you into data engineering? I know it's probably part of your slide deck, but I just want to know really quickly.
Yeah, of course. I can start off while Sia is getting her camera situated. I'm not sure if she's having some issues there, but
I'm here.
I've kind of taken like a very long kind of meandering road through
Mhm.
all the data fields really, and data engineering specifically has been holds a special place in my heart just because we always hear about kind of the power of data. Data's new oil. You can use it to extract all these insights, but if you don't really have a good enough manage on your data, especially if you're working with large data sets, terabytes and beyond of data, you're not really able to handle that and core that and really get what you need out of it. And you're not going to have good analysis. So now, as businesses are looking into data scientists, machine learning engineers, it's really kind of the data engineers who set everything up in order for the other data roles in order to do their jobs and help to drive business value and business insights. So it's really kind of all parts of the chain that really makes data organization like a really strong data organization.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love that. I think data is super important too as well. I think that if you're not in that space, it's kind of hard to figure out why it's so important. But again, that's why we have you here today,
Right.
so we could figure out what is it about data that is super valuable to help businesses not only run but scale. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm super hyped about that. Sia, I'm not sure if
Oh,
can you.
hello.
We can hear you.
You
Yeah,
can
we hear
hear me?
you.
I see all of you on the
We just can't see
stage
you.
and myself.
Oh, we
Wait,
can't see you.
you
Mhm.
can't? Okay, that's okay. I will be dancing in the background, but um,
We'll put your picture up in a
I
minute, so you're good.
that's all right. I got into data honestly originally because I love sports. I'm a huge sports fan. And I was like, well, I might be able to do something there and maybe get free tickets. But that didn't happen. Data engineering specifically is because, to Kelly's point, it kind of affects everybody else's job that's going to use it. And I tried everything else like data scientists, experiments, making visuals, all of that. And to me, it was more interesting to like do the laundry and the labeling and the organization because also you get to learn the context faster because you have to be the one to set everything up. So that's why I stuck with that side of the data paths.
Right.
Nice. I love hearing that. I wasn't a sports girl growing up, but I definitely understand your sentiment.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold you ladies any longer. I'm gonna let you take over, and so thanks again, and I will be seeing you just in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again, everyone, for having us here. We're going to be going through what data engineering is, why you should care about it, and how you can kind of get into the action there. So, a quick introduction. My name is Kelly Hopkins, she, her. I currently serve as the Director of Research and Development for Correlation One. We are an edtech startup based out of New York that specializes in working with Black, Hispanic, Latinx, and/or LGBTQ learners of all ages, trying to get them into jobs of the future, like data science, like engineering, and all of those mission critical jobs out there. I personally, like I mentioned earlier, I've had kind of definitely a love affair with data for the past few years. I before joining Correlation One, I was in the consulting industry for a few years. Definitely working on a lot of different analytics projects, data science projects, as well as data engineering and automation projects. So it's just really been a great journey for me. And I always just want to help out anyone I can who's looking to get into these fields. But now I'll turn over to my lovely co-host, Sia.
Hi, I'm Sia. I'm currently an analytics consultant with one of my bosses being Kelly, actually, which is great. Really nice to work with. So I started out in global mobility, and really I was lucky to be able to do data jobs right after school. And then went back to school, did some research, did some software engineering learning there, and ended up doing a lot of health and consulting work. So what is it, Obamacare, I worked on like a team that is responsible for managing all that consumer data. I right now just doing consulting work, and one of the things that I enjoy about working on like the content I work with Kelly is because it is going back to help people learn, and it's free, so that's great. And also working with Kelly is fun. So that's kind of my story. Nothing to do with sports at work.
Not yet, at least. It's always a possibility, yeah.
Maybe one day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge sports girl myself. Huge tennis fan. Definitely love basketball and football. And analytics itself has been a huge part of those industries as well. I know the NFL has a huge project where they try to track all of the data points that they track on players, positioning, also marketing data, kind of really drive better insights across both the actual team playing, but also just as an organization as well. So data is really kind of permeating through every single industry and job field out there. It's a truly exciting time in tech.
Yep. So we're gonna go through and tell you about like why we're here, I guess, and go through like what data engineers do, why it's important, like Kelly said, and maybe we'll convince you to look beyond, because everybody's looking at a data scientist title. Maybe you can look at other job titles that are also as interesting. So Kelly, take it away.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Sia. And so before Sia tells you like what data engineering is, we really want to kind of get the point across about how exciting and how big of an opportunity it is to really get into data engineering. And like I said before, businesses are, dealing with and analyzing more and more data every single day, huge amounts of data. In order to really get great insights out of that data, we need to be able to handle and manage those large volumes of data in order to drive more accurate and effective insights. Data engineer as a title has consistently been one of the most in-demand data roles over the past couple of years. And according to the 2022 annual salary report, data engineer roles can typically receive an annual salary of starting from $115,000 to over $160,000. So it definitely is a very hot market to get into. And now Sia will tell you a little bit about what data engineering actually is and what data engineers do in their day-to-day.
Yeah, so if you all think about when you see like a news report or a survey, a graph, somebody had to collect all of that, or events had to happen so that you can track those things as numbers or words, whatever, and bring it into a sort of a data home so that it can be used. So, a data engineering essentially is doing, it's like a baby of a data person and then software engineer, in that you have to be able to bring in that information from multiple sources that look really different. And not only do you bring it in, you clean it, you transform it, because not everybody's going to use it the same way. So like maybe one person needs to look at the same exact thing in different forms. So you need to be able to do those transformations for people. Something else that is managed by, data engineers is storage. And so, like I mentioned, data has to live somewhere once it's collected, making sure you have it stored in its various forms in the ways that are optimized for efficiency, performance, depending on like if your product is front facing, you don't want selecting a specific piece of information to make people leave your app because it's slow. Also, all of this work that goes with collecting, bringing in, cleaning, transforming, and storing, all of that is a pipeline. And so data engineers also manage all of that. And to be able to do that, you need to kind of combine three, what do you call them? Types of skills. And so the first one is engineering. If we could, let's see, the next slide.
Oh yeah, sure.
So you kind of have to have some form of engineering skills, like coding, for example. You need to be able to use programming languages. With those, because things run in production, you need to set them up with the ability to be replicated and scaled. You also need to be able to have some data skills. So maybe skills that an analyst would have or a data scientist would have, some of them, you need to think in that lens and be able to look at data. So a lot of people do like, data structures and algorithms interviews. So if you think about data people, they are mostly working with data structures on a large scale. So you need to be really comfortable with those. And the other thing that is really underrated, I think, is the domain. So if Kelly is working in education, there are some things you need to be aware of in your domain so that as you're collecting and changing data and testing it, you know that the quality is there. So like if exam scores only go from 0 to 100, if you see one that says 105, you know this is an entry error. So you need to have like the domain context to be able to make those calls while you're doing all these transformations. And then with that, we know that you don't work by yourself. You have to do this so that somebody else is using it or somebody else is working with the data. So Kelly, you could tell us a little bit about those roles.
Yeah, sure. And actually, before we get to that, if you don't mind me going back to the previous slide, see, I just wanted to call something out with all of these pipeline or data engineering tasks. All of these aren't necessarily going to be specific to just a data engineer. A lot of times, if you're dealing with not that huge of a company, you might not have a dedicated data engineer to focus on these tasks. A lot of times, if you join a company as a data analyst, as a data scientist, or a data specialist, they'll bring you on for a certain project. Then when you look at data, it'll be a mess. So we'll actually have to use some of these data engineering tasks and abilities in order to get your data into a format that you can actually start to analyze. So this is not just its own job in and of itself. A lot of times data engineering is a skill that you perform as part of your normal data job.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's why more people need to be data engineers so that the
Right.
analysts can focus on just doing that. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So no matter what role you have, you can always incorporate a little bit of data engineering into what you do. And speaking about different data roles, so like, as a data engineer, you're usually never kind of working in a silo. You'll always have a team of other data professionals, like data analysts, like a data scientist, like software engineers, all on your team to achieve the certain task or the business goal. And all these roles have slightly different purposes. But like a data analyst, they might be more focused on delivering insights to the business leaders and the stakeholders. So they will rely on the data engineer being able to provide the data and deliver to them in a workable format, so that they can create those Tableau dashboards or Power BI dashboards or reports, so that the business stakeholders can effectively see what is happening with their business, with their certain work stream, kind of really visually delivering those insights. And data scientists also heavily reliant on high quality and high availability data from the data engineer to perform kind of deeper analysis and asking more difficult questions on the data. Maybe they're setting up an experiment or building a model to predict a certain sales indicator or a certain segment of their audience or the customer base. So they're also doing very heavy level analysis and research to uncover deep insights. And also the software engineer. A lot of software engineers right today are focusing on the data infrastructure as well, just putting these systems into production. So this whole data team really is a very well orchestrated team that is helping the business achieve its data goals. And I know on a lot of these interview presentations, people will ask, oh, well, what's the best data role, right? Should I be a data analyst or a data scientist or a data engineer? What's the best better one to be in right now? And that's really kind of the wrong questions to ask, because all of these are amazing, lucrative careers. All these roles can easily pull in six figures at the right level and at the right company. It really just comes down to what your particular skills are, what your interests are, what your strengths are, and how well you can merge the three into your daily work. And I'm sure you've kind of you've worn multiple different hats within your data roles. You've been data analyst plus a scientist plus an engineer all at the same time, probably on some of your projects.
Exactly. Especially as a data analyst, that job title is too stretched. I have been in roles where I was called a data analyst, but I was not even doing any analysis. I was mostly like cleaning data, aggregating it. So definitely, I would say try everything, but we definitely have a deficit of interest, I feel like, with the data engineering part. And you're right. Like, I see a lot of companies say software engineer data, which is right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to put you on the spot here, Sia, but why do you think there is like a lack of not hype, but like, why do not enough people really know about data engineering as a discipline these days?
I think it was like distributed between a bunch of roles. Like the data analyst was gonna pull SQL things anyway, so they left it there. The data scientist was an extension of a data analyst. A software engineer is doing infrastructure so they can make our pipeline for us because they know the tools and they know how to code already. So I feel like it was underappreciated how much work was just being split into other people. That should really be a focus by itself. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And definitely know a lot of companies, they tend to blur these lines because they don't really know where a data scientist ends and data engineer or data analyst begins. So they don't really know what they're looking for. Oftentimes you'll see on job description they'll look for kind of everything under the sun, because they really want you to do everything once you you join the company. So I actually, what you said?
I was just like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like I would actually recommend like any company or group who's looking to hire a data professional, like really sit down with your team members, stakeholders, and really lay out what exactly you want this person to do on the job. Do you want them mostly writing reports or writing queries, or do you want them to be, building a lot of the dashboards, building a lot of the infrastructure? Really make sure you have a clear idea of what you actually want this person to do when they join your team, so that the recruiter will actually know what to look for, and they won't be inadvertently misleading people looking to do more pure data science and ML engineering when they're really going to be doing a lot of data engineering tasks before they can even start to think about doing data science work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like even for job, that's a good point, Kelly, because even if you're looking for a job and you see like, smaller companies or like startups, if it's an analyst job, it might really be 3. So you really want to ask all these questions if you know what you want or you know what you're looking for in your day-to-day experience. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Sia. Yeah. So we've talked a little about, what data engineering is, what a data engineer is, what they do, kind of the tasks that they perform on pipelines and certain other tools. So what's the actual hard skills that you need in order to be a data engineer? I know Sia talked about having the business prowess and acumen, and that's definitely a huge part, as well as the actual hard skills. So one, definitely will need to be proficient in one or more programming languages, like Python, like Java, Scala. There's a couple ones out there. But that's going to be kind of your main tool for experimenting with data, manipulating data, working to integrate certain systems, help translate data back and forth. Really, that scripting programming language definitely a key skill, and not just being someone that pulls reports and just can't really do much with the data after they pull that data. You're really kind of actually you're translating the data into a language that your other data teammates can actually speak. So scripting is definitely a huge skill. Also, your SQL, relational databases, non-relational databases, data warehouses, having an effective system that can effectively both store your data and also making queries against that data fast and efficient. Because if your database or data warehouse is not optimized, huge queries can take forever, hours, even days to run. And when you need that information out of systems, that's not acceptable. So learning how to both optimize the performance of data storage systems, as well as optimize your SQL queries, that will be a crucial step in order to deliver data to other systems. And as well, another area that doesn't get talked about as much, like once you build your foundation in the scripting language and the SQL and databases, different tools related to cloud, orchestration, testing, just really make your data pipelines fully automated, so that you don't have to click a button to run a SQL query or click a button to run a script. It'll just automatically run based on certain parameters, certain parameters, certain date times. If you want a certain query to be run every Sunday at midnight, just that scripting, that automation will really take care of and being a fully managed data pipeline. I read this quote somewhere that said, if you need a human to perform any part of your data pipeline, you have a bug. So it really shows you the importance of having a fully automated, fully managed data pipeline end to end. And I know all this sounds like a lot. Data engineering is a very broad field covering a lot. But the good news is that almost all of this can be learned for free or for very low cost if you know where to look. And thankfully for us, Sia has curated a list of learning resources that you all can check out.
To start, I don't know about curated.
I'll say curated.
Also, something you mentioned something. You said well, we have a list, but also you are not going to do everything every day.
Right.
Like, depending on
Exactly.
how big or small your organization is and your data is, and you know what you're doing, what you're optimizing for. Like, if it's something you just use for analysis, maybe speed is not optimized, so you don't
Right.
have to, so just as we share these resources, please know it's more like this is the universe of things, plus there's others,
Right.
but you don't have to know all of them just to get in. So one thing that has free in the name, Free Code Camp, has a lot of resources just in general for any tech learning. Like, they have a site where you can do as you go. So you're like practicing the code as you're going. And they also have YouTube videos. So like really long 10-hour videos you can just keep watching slowly at your own pace. So I really like those when I have to go revisit something that is a concept, because like, not I can Google really quickly. And then for those cloud learners, AWS has a YouTube channel as well, and they also have a free learning like website that I forgot to add, Kelly. So I will share a link with the team, and they can share it with you when they if they're gonna share these resources. And then another one that is really nice for thinking through real life scenarios, because we all learn things and then you go into work and it's not the same. Ben is a data engineer who has been working for a lot of these big companies and now has their own consulting company. And they have a blog, they have a newsletter, they have a YouTube channel. So it's a really good place to like learn situational things. And then for a data warehouse, I would suggest everybody use Snowflake, because they give you a 30-day free trial. And then they have a site where you can go do free labs. So they give you access to events you can sign up. They have a Snowflake University you can sign up and do things in. So maximize the 30 days. And then below we have a list of paid things. I will mention that the ones that have a discount, they are free right now as we are talking. So if you go 10 days or even tomorrow and there is no deal, I am very sorry. This is in the moment we are talking about this, there is a
Right.
deal. And so a lot of these have a path. So you can take like Udacity, DataCamp, and DataQuest. They have a whole learning path in Google Cloud that you can learn a bunch of skills that are curated just for this role. And so that's really nice. You don't have to make your own curriculum. Yeah, so that is us
Yeah.
for today.
Thank you so much, Sia. Oh, and before
Thank
we
you.
wrap up, I just wanted to give a quick point. I remember back when I was first learning data, all the data camps and all the resources, I got stuck in this mental cycle, what they call tutorial purgatory, or tutorial
Yes.
tutorial hell that they call it. It's this phenomenon where you take these courses, you want to learn how to do everything, but then after that you say, oh, but I need to learn this thing before I can start working. Then you take this course. So you're taking courses, but you're not really like applying what you've learned, the concepts behind it. So that's why they say like doing projects on the side to really apply what you've learned is so crucial to the learning process, and not just the built-in projects that they have in the courses. Even they'll kind of take you through every step. They will kind of do all the thinking for you, and you do implementation. Really taking what you've learned and applying a project to a totally different context or problem, something that you can't really find a step-by-step tutorial for. That is what's going to actually make the concepts and the skills, you stick more and help you to build up your skills a lot faster. So courses are amazing. There's a lot of great people sharing their knowledge with the community, but really projects and hands-on experimentation, fighting through all the bugs and the errors, that's what's going to make you a better professional in the future.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Kelly, because I am definitely a slow learner and talk a bit learner. And the thing you mentioned about finding project, do not use the Titanic project when you're
Right.
learning. Like, do not use it. If you see something on Kaggle and it has like 100,000 people have downloaded it, everybody probably knows it. It's probably used in a university course. So like,
Right.
even things you come up with yourself, like when I was looking for a job 2 years ago, I made a web scraper, so I didn't have to filter through LinkedIn, and then that's my project. So just be more resourceful, and then that way you'll be motivated because it's your idea. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and the Titanic data set, that kind of project, that's great for kind of day one of learning and getting your skills up. But if you're kind of pitching a portfolio to potential, company or interviewer, the Titanic project or an Iris, project, it's not gonna really raise any eyebrows. We're looking for some original thought and some original problem solving. But yeah, all good things. And so thank you so much, Sia, for leading the session with me. That is all from us. So we'd love to kind of see what questions there are, what we can clarify. Really just want to make sure that all you listening and watching are able to really tackle data engineering.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. That was a really, really good, insightful session. Just so you know, we had a couple of comments. Phoenix says, love data camp and agreed that purgatory was where I was stuck for a while too, until I got a role using more technical skills and real data.
Nice. That's awesome. Congrats, Phoenix, on your new role.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, a lot of times when you get that job at day one, the day is not going to look like that perfectly clean data set that you do in a course. It's going to be messy. You have to really rely on your skills to really apply those skills to a new context. So yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. We also have a question from Dom G. Throughout your journey, what's the most interesting idea you've learned about data?
That's a great question, Dom. I'm not sure, Sia, if you want to say anything, but I think for me, the idea that data will never be perfect, because humans collect data and humans build by systems that collect biased data. So really, there's always a level of looking beyond just what's in front of you in the data to really interpret what it's actually saying. So for example, that I'm taking a book called Technically Wrong. It's a great book. I can probably share it with the team. It's definitely highly recommended reading. But if you're looking at, say, like a gender column or sex column, for example, and it's just male and female, obviously there's a huge, broad, spectrum of gender identities and expressions beyond just male and female. But that might only be what is on a form at doctor's office that people can check off. So people are really kind of forced into these boxes as reflected in the data, but not reflect what's actually happening in reality. So always kind of having that critical eye into data that you're working with and learning how to really see, read between the lines, really, but with data.
Yeah, that is kind of where I was going, because my thing was going to be, there is no source of truth.
Exactly.
Like, you have to document everything. Even as you transform things, you have to say, this is why I changed this. To Kelly's example, if you see that same column has male, female, and then you see empty spaces, does that mean they were not giving it, or is that because you didn't have an option for them to enter?
Right.
So like, how do you document that when you start using it in analysis? So it's there is no source of truth for me as well.
Absolutely. Spoken from a true data expert, Sia.
Let me just say something. Kelly is always hyping me up. Like, this is just like, I don't know. If you ever get a chance to work with or for Kelly, please take it.
Also,
awesome.
Same thing with Sia. I don't just be hyping anyone up. I only hang with the best, and Sia is definitely one of the best. A brilliant data minds, and just a beautiful person as well, inside and out. So, if any of you get to work with Sia or work for Sia one day, you'll definitely be a fortunate person. So, Just want to shout out to you.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
Oh my God, we love to see it.
Yeah.
Women hyping women up. Like, come on,
Exactly.
that's the exact energy we need
Well, this month
at
is all
all
about.
times.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
At all times. I love it. I love it. So, ladies, I really wanted to quickly piggyback off of some of the resources that you shared. You shared some really good resources at the end of your presentation. I wanted to know how you felt specifically about the Microsoft Azure certification. Because I didn't see that on there, but I thought I would have. So, and you can correct me if I'm
Go
wrong.
ahead, because I have not taken that. Kelly, I know you have.
Yeah. So last year I actually took the Azure Data Scientist just certification, and it was great. Microsoft has a bunch of free learning resources on their Microsoft Learn platform, and it's essentially a bunch of different bite-sized modules that you can go through to really learn not just like general data science concepts, how to kind of build data solutions on the Azure cloud. So it was definitely a very worthwhile experience to go through. I remember at the time Microsoft had this initiative where it was like a cloud skills challenge, where if you completed all of the modules within a certain amount of time, you got a free voucher to take the exam. And I was able to go that route. I got a free voucher. I passed, and it was just amazing. I think it's actually expiring in a few weeks, so I have to go back and renew.
Yeah. So Kelly, you should do it right now because that thing is going on. The challenge.
Okay, so it's going on now.
Like 10 days left or something like that.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Shout out Microsoft. I had to get on that to get my voucher again.
Thank you so much. Once you share it with us, we will share it with everyone else.
Yeah.
We love a free voucher. Listen,
I love a free voucher.
So my next question would be, so what are some of the soft skills required for data engineers? Because I know we spoke a little bit about the hard skills. What are some of the soft skills we might need?
Yeah. See, do you want to start?
Sure. So I was thinking, I don't know if anybody has seen Tambourine, Chris Rock's latest special, but he talks about like sometimes he was talking about marriage, and sometimes you have to like be in the background and play the tambourine, but if you don't, the music sounds different. But you're in the background. That's a data engineer. Like you are not the person doing presentations, making the visuals, sending reports, talking to the client. But if something is messed up, it will show up in the front. It will show up in the end product. So
that's really good.
That's really good.
That's really good. You didn't even give me like, you don't even need to give me like a type of character trait. After that, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So you have
everybody
to
needs to be.
You need to be okay with being in the background, but also responsible for a lot in the front that you do not have any control of how it's shared.
Right.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good. So in what ways do you think we can display that in the interview process? That we're okay being in the background, but we'll play tambourine for you all day.
Yeah, I would say like when talking about some of your projects, like not necessarily highlight like, the impact you made to the end user or the client, although that's important, but talk about how you kind of worked with your colleagues, your teammates, how you kind of assisted someone to set them up for a win. And instead of just, claiming that win for yourself. It might be a good way to kind of demonstrate your ability to put the teams and the company's interests, over your own, essentially. But yeah, I'm not sure if you have anything to say about that. But
I think also when say like if they want you to highlight technical things, in that same vein of like you're not doing the thing that's seen, but you're doing the thing that's important, is talk about your teammates as your customers. Because really, your customers are, if you think about, if everybody has a client, your client is your internal teammates. So like if you increased value, if you made something faster for them that was slowing them down, like the queries Kelly was talking about.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. So on the same leg of talking about projects, especially in the interview, What are some, I know you said a couple of projects, but what are some absolute must-haves like in your data engineer portfolio that you feel like every beginner breaking, especially if you don't have experience, or like, you have a career transitioner that's really trying to break into the data engineering space. What are some must-haves in your portfolio when applying for jobs?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Definitely, I would just say one overall. Definitely demonstrate your ability to build an ETL pipeline. ETL stands for extract, transform, load. So you're taking data from one source, cleaning it up, doing feature engineering, maybe combining it with a different data source to create new insights, and then loading it into a final destination where it can be easily accessed and easily queried. And there's multiple different levels to that as well. You just have one singular Python script that does all those steps and different functions. You can you break it out using the actual pipeline tools. You can use PySpark. You have a fully managed pipeline on the cloud. So kind of just starting from simple and doing that progression to more advanced, more fully managed automated pipelines. That would be a project that I definitely would recommend. And a lot of people do the city bike data set, the New York City traffic data set, like very huge data sets containing individual trips, individual fares, and
that's dope.
looking at that at the high level, at the aggregate level, is definitely a very good project to show.
Okay. And for you, Sia, you spoke a little bit about a web scraper, right? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because you kind of like, you just glazed over it. You just glided over it. And I'm like, wait, bring that back. You did a web scraper that did what?
Oh my goodness. I am very reserved. So I was not like, anyway. I was looking for a job 2 years ago, and I knew that my Python was good, but it could be better. So I wanted to practice things that I didn't know how to do. And that included like using APIs and web scraping. So in that moment, I started with the web scraping first. So I said, I'm an immigrant. I can't apply for anything that says you have to be a citizen. Usually if you go on LinkedIn, you read a whole job, you have to read all of this stuff. And then you get to the bottom, it's like fine print. And it's all these 10 minutes I just wasted. So I made a scraper that would do some language processing and look through the text. If you find all of those red words that I don't want in my life, don't give me that job. Otherwise, send me the rest. And like I would filter by title, location, remove like VP. I was not looking to be a VP. And then it would put it in an Excel file and send it to me. Wasn't the best thing, but it was like, yeah.
Right. Also shout out to all those people who are dealing with visa issues in the process. I know it's been such a headache over the past couple weeks, and can make even already stressful job search even more stressful. Just wanted to send some support to all of you out there dealing with visa issues, and just employers, consider sponsoring as many people as you can. With brilliant people from all over that's only looking to add to your company. So, yeah, just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, you're right. Gotta support them.
Right.
That's so that concept is so dope. First of all, I wish I had that when I was applying for jobs. Like, just take out all the nonsense. Just get rid of all the fluff. I don't want to see it.
Right. Because it gives you even like promoted, and I'm like, no, I'm just looking for the thing I'm looking for, LinkedIn. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. So where do you guys see your careers going in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I love that question. I hate it all at the same time.
I know.
If you asked me what my 5-year plan was like 3 years ago, I would have said something totally different. Especially with this role I have now, it was something different that I wanted to try. That I feel like could really grow in. It gave me a lot of, autonomy and ability to grow. So really just definitely looking to always increase my coding skills, my data skills, my business acumen, but just seeing like what's out there. Like my future job in 5 years could be doing something that doesn't even exist yet, right? People in Web3 and crypto probably I'm thinking about it 3 years ago and where they are now. So I'm open to whatever life has in store for me.
Yeah, I would say kind of the same, but not for the same reason. Because like I mentioned, I'm an immigrant, and Kelly, thank you for the shout out. Like, I don't know where I will be next year if I don't get my visa. So we'll see. But I would really love to keep working in data, and like the ideal job would be if I could be like somebody who teaches juniors on a team, but also gets to practice. But like you see people learning and progressing and growing without having to manage them. You know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just
That's
facilitating. Yeah, that's the word.
Awesome.
I love how both of your responses involved both learning, growing, and then teaching others to do the same, and like really like lifting as we climb. I love that because that's not usually a lot of people's answers, right? So in that same token, just to get to know a little bit more about you guys, and this is probably going to be my last question. How do you ladies deal with imposter syndrome in this space, especially being, Black women, awesome Black women, but still dealing with imposter syndrome? How do you go about that? What are some daily practices you guys have?
Yeah. Oh, yes, thank you. Sorry, I've been talking a lot, so I don't know if you wanted to start first.
No, I was over here like, Kelly, you go. But my answer includes Kelly anyway, because the first thing I do is I remember how many people are rooting for me. I cry on demand. I have a great village that includes Kelly. And it's amazing. So when I'm having a bad day, I try to remember how I grew with those people and to keep trying. I'm sorry, I did not want to cry, but Kelly is amazing.
Sia is amazing.
Right now, the way that I'm working with Kelly, yes, I enjoy like learning and teaching and writing content for people to learn, but it's also she gave me a route to stay here legally. That's like I don't even have to think about that. Like, who does that? So anyway, have a really good village is my answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Tia. I always support you. And when we talk about imposter syndrome, it's always tough because we grow up with messages saying we're not good enough, we're not meant to be here. And a lot of times it isn't just imposter syndrome. A lot of times we actually are dealing with prejudice and biased systems that are actually keeping us out of certain parts of the workforce, not just this imaginary voice in our head. Like it's actually happening in real life. Like Sia said, having a good village, having a good support system, good mentoring opportunities, like the one you're creating, the Mentoring Collective. It's so important to build validating people, as people, but also giving them that support and that advocacy and in the workforce. And I would say, if you are managed to fool a company that you're meant to be there, just enjoy it. just know that you're meant to be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Those are like awesome answers. I couldn't end this on a better note. That is so beautiful. You guys' individual stories are beautiful, but just collectively, it's so awesome to see women pouring into each other and really building each other up like this, because that's really the goal, right? So I really want to thank you ladies for coming and spending some time with us to teach us in all of your expertise. This is going to be, I know the replay is going to pop off. So I'm like super excited for everyone who's here right now and everybody who's going to watch this in the future. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us. This has been great. Thank you everyone listening and watching either now or in the future.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.
Kelly, thank you in the future and now.
Exactly.
All right. So we're going to end this broadcast here, guys. See you
Thank you.
later.
Bye.